Hello, I'm a guy that likes to talk about music, and I've been talking about songs from the 80s, and today I want to talk about a country song from the 80s, the Nitty Girtty Dirt Band, Fishin' in the Dark. You and me going fishing in the dark, lying on our backs and counting the stars. Yep, that sounds like a good time to me. I used to do stuff like that. It was fun. Yeah, this is a song that even people who don't typically like country music could get into. I know that because I can remember when this song came out. And there was a lot of kids my age who didn't like country music. You know, country music wasn't cool. It's like what Barbara Mandrell sang once when she was younger. I was country and country wasn't cool. And of course, this was all before Garth Brooks and Friends in Low Places came out. And Garth Brooks really seemed to change things. But before all that, most kids didn't like country music, but yet some of them really liked Fishin' in the Dark. This was like the exception to the rule that country music sucked, you know? And it does sound a lot different from most country songs, and really different from most songs of any kind of music, I think. I mean, it's got that very unusual sound to it, you know, that intro. Bum, 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 no, 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 bum, bum, bum. Like, man, what is that, you know? It sounds a bit poppy. I think some would call it country pop, but some would call it country rock. Some might call it bluegrass. Some might call it southern rock. Whatever you want to call it, it's good. I've always liked this song. One thing that I like about it is that, well, actually, for one thing, I like the lyrics. I like a song about going fishing. And going fishing at night. I'm a Missouri boy, and that is something that I have done in the past. I've enjoyed doing this, fishing at night. You know, I've gone camping with some buddies, and you know, beside a river or lake, and we stay up fishing. Bzzz. Oh boy, and this song really gives me that image that I'm somewhere back in Missouri and doing some night fishing again. You know. And also, this song sounds so authentic to me, if that makes any sense. It sounds like the boys in the band have done this before, done some night fishing. Like they're the real deal, not posers. And the music sounds like it's being played by some musicians who have played on a front porch a time or two, and not just some honky tonks. I mean, if you've never played on a porch, can you really call yourself country? So, are these boys from the South? They sound like they could be some Southern boys. Yeah, Nitty Gritty were Southern. Southern California, that is. The original band started out in Long Beach, California. So, yeah, they were Californians. Not only were they Californians, they might have been Californian hippies. Yeah, they've been around for a long time. They started out in the 60s. They were a jug band. What is a jug band? Well, a jug band was basically country music for hippies, like the Grateful Dead used to be a jug band. And here's a little trivia. Jackson Browne used to be a member of the Nitty Girtty Dirt Band before his solo career. And he was only in it for a very short time, but, you know, I'm a big Jackson Browne fan, so I have to include that. But anyway, throughout the 70s, they were considered a country rock band. This was during, you know, a time when the country rock sound was popular. This was the time the Eagles and Flying Burrito Brothers and stuff like that. Like their most successful song was a recording of Mr. Bojangles. This Mr. Bojangles was obviously a country song, classic country, right? It did well on the regular Hot 100 charts. I think it was even a top 10 song. But yet it didn't chart at all on the country charts. You know, so the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band was like a country music band that was not considered country music bands. They were kind of outside the mainstream Nashville country scene, I guess. And they finally started getting some radio play in the 80s for some reason. So, yeah, I bring all this up because, you know, Fishin' in the Dark just seems so different from the rest of the stuff that you might have heard on country music radio at the time. And it was a song that people who didn't typically like country music liked. Like, this was a song that Def Leppard fans could get into. But it was done by a country band that was not considered regular mainstream country for a long time. Some would say that's because Nitty Gritty was real country music. You know, some would say that the difference between the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and the Nashville radio country music it was like the difference between the UFC and the WWE. Like, this stuff's fake and phony, and this stuff is the real stuff, you know? But anyway, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the song and why I like it so much. I mean, I haven't even gotten to the lyrics yet. But unfortunately, I've got a real job to get into, so maybe some other time. Plus, I really gotta pee.